Okay. There we go. All righty. Good evening, everyone. Can you see the first slide here okay?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the District 14C Secretary Training. I'm Cabinet Secretary Patty. Been Cabinet Secretary for the district for 3 years, and I've been Secretary for our club for 6 years, if you count Assistant Secretary the 1 year. Tonight, I'm going to touch base on just highlighting a few of the important responsibilities of the Secretary for the club. Right here is my email address. You can reach me at any time, and that's my phone number. I don't have any issues with anybody emailing me or calling me and asking help, anything you need information for. I've always called Carrie all the time. I've called Dennis lately. All of us are here to help. We'll answer your questions. And if I don't have an answer for it, I will take and find it for you. Moving on. Right here, we just like to list some of the subjects we're going to cover tonight. We'll be discussing secretary responsibilities, meeting duties, meeting minutes, files. The new portal, we're just going to touch on briefly because a lot of people are not in that yet. Some of us are, and we're just starting to play around with it. And there will be more training for that as time goes on. And membership reports. Also moving on, we'll discuss service reporting, administrator's role, and the roster. This page I have here, I borrowed from PGG Carey for resources. These are invaluable resources for anyone, for the secretary. The Lions Learning Center you can access through the Lions portal. There's a Learn tab. Those are short little courses. There's 60 to 100 of them, and they're 30 minutes long. And you can take those. They've got a lot of information on for officer positions, for training, for any other things you need, different tools, different insights. Next, we have the club secretary ebook. I will have a picture of what that looks like later. That can be accessed by, I Googled Lions Club secretary ebook, and it'll take you right to the link. That's an invaluable resource also. That's probably, I think it's like 18 to 19 pages long, but it covers anything you need to know about being the secretary of your club. You can find the answers in there. Lions University can be reached through the site here. That's another free source. There are hour-long classes taught by Lion instructors who are very knowledgeable in what they're doing. There's a test at the end of each one. You can take and get your bachelor's, you can get your master's, you can get your doctorate degree. These courses will not only help you advance in leadership, but a lot of them will prepare you for a lot of your positions as president, vice president, secretary in the club. I found some of them useful even just for everyday things, for things that might come up at a meeting, like conflict resolution or issues that you might need to deal with. The last one we have here is YouTube. A lot of our training sessions are recorded, and if you Google them later, you can find them on YouTube. Next, this is what the secretary ebook looks like. And as I mentioned before, this is an excellent source. Some people print it out. It is 19 pages long. I just bookmarked it on my computer and just kept it so that I can just get to it easily if I need to look anything up. The one thing you'll need to remember, and I've heard it from the time I became secretary, and I still hear it, the secretary is the most important member of any club. You're like the hub of everything.
Patty, can I just add one thing about the ebook?
Yes, you can.
One of the nice things about keeping it on your desktop is there's a lot of live links in there that take you to stuff, so that if you print it out, you don't get that advantage with it.
Right.
So it's good to look stuff up when it's online. And that was just revised, I believe. I just looked at that this spring.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Dennis. Next, we'll move on to the sixth primary responsibility of the Lions Club secretary. First and foremost, before we start this, just be ready when the meeting starts. You don't want to have your president sitting there ready to start the meeting and the secretary is still passing out agendas or passing out paperwork. I always get there early and I take care of all that stuff first because you do want to start the meetings on time. You need to be organized, the club and the board meetings. That's your responsibility to organize those. I organize mine with our president. President I have this year, we work very close together, and all my past presidents, we've organized our meetings together. You have to be sure to attend all club and board meetings. If you're not able to attend a meeting, you need to appoint someone to take your minutes for you, to be there. Our club has an assistant secretary. Next year, we're going to have a secretary and co-secretary. So someone will be there. I've been very fortunate. I haven't missed a lot of meetings, but when I was very sick a few years ago, we had 3 people in my club that just volunteered and said, hey, I'll take the minutes. So we were blessed. There's a lot of times people don't want to take the minutes, but have somebody in line, somebody on board to step up just in case you can't make a meeting. Next, prepare the agenda for and record the minutes at every meeting. We will discuss the agenda issue a little bit later. Keep all club records and receive correspondence. It's another one of your big responsibilities. I keep mine in files on my computer. Complete and file all club reports. Also be an active member of the District Governor Advisory Committee. You need to attend all of those meetings. I know our zone has 4 zone meetings a year. So we attend those with the president. That way you can be the link between the club and the zone and the district. I take notes at those meetings, not official minutes, only notes, just so we know what other service activities are going on. And usually we get information from the zone that they've gotten from the district, so I can take it to the club meeting when we go. Next. Like I said, you are the liaison officer between the club and the district and LCI. All correspondence will come through you, to you, and you need to pass that on to your club members. You're the communication hub for your club. You will file all reports. I have monthly membership report down in here because for some of us who've been secretary for a long time, we did have to go into the old portal, and every month we had to click if there were any membership changes or anything. Apparently in the new portal I've been reading, that will no longer be effective. You will just either add a member if you have a new member, or, you know, remove a member if a member's left the club.
Right.
Monthly service activities report. They need to be filed. They are very important. I usually try to do ours as soon as the service project is over. If the meeting's done that night, I come home, put mine right in. Some people like to wait, maybe do them at the end of the month. Unfortunately, we have some clubs that do it at the end of the year. That's a bit difficult when you have a lot of service activities to report. So it's better to keep up with those. Reporting our service activities is important for getting grants. They want to know what we've done. They want to know how many hours we've put in, who we've served. They want to see it. They need to see it on paper. I, being a nurse, use the old adage that if it's not documented, it wasn't done. I think that carries true here too. They need to see it. You need to keep your members informed. And once again, you'll attend the zone meetings. Once again, it's just attend all club and board meetings. This says help the club president compile all agendas. I know in the past I have done that. I've had to help some of my presidents. Some of them didn't do them at all, and I did all of them. We'll discuss more of that later. Record again all your meeting minutes. Receive and respond to all club correspondence promptly and professionally. That's very important. We have been getting a lot more emails coming to our club because of our new website that's up, just from outside residents, from club people, from the district, from everyone. We're getting a lot of information come in. I try to respond to all my emails. even if it's just to acknowledge the fact that I got it. If it's a quick yes or no, just give me a yes or no. I've gotten emails, I didn't have the answer. So of course I would make a phone call, get the answer, but at least I'd let them know, hey, I'll get the answer for you. I'll respond back.
Patty, may I ask a question?
Yep.
You said with your new website, you did that. Are you using a generic club email address, or did you put your own email address?
We're using now, because I found out, unfortunately, which I was going to explain later under our web page, we had a AOL account for our Lions Club and we weren't getting any messages. So I was using my own email address for everything for the club. We set up Club Runner, which is running our club now and our volunteer list and our calendar, and it's running everything. We now have an official Lions Club, New Freedom Lions Gmail account. Found out that AOL account had not been used for 10 years. So now we know why we weren't getting any correspondence. So we set that up.
Excuse me, Patty,
Yep.
we have a separate actual email account for our club. So we should be
So do
fine.
we now. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, a lot of people, because the club members send me stuff to my private email, which I don't mind, but at least now we're getting stuff from the outside, from other community residents with questions. Now it all goes to our Lions Gmail account, which is a big help, because then I know it's Lions business and then I can take care of it. And it saves me from looking through my other one. Yep. Complete and file all reports to LCI. This work with the club treasurer to make sure the IRS 990 is filed electronically. We are very blessed with our group. Bill is a fantastic treasurer. He takes care of everything. So he does all of our treasurer stuff. So it fills up on all that. But there are some other clubs. I know the secretary and the treasurer do work together. So you need to work together, make sure all the paperwork is filed. Transfer all your records to your successor. That's done June 30th when the Lions year is finished. I know some clubs have a huge binder. They have a huge book. It's all in there, all the information. So just make sure your person taking over gets all of that.
I
It's
have
got a lot of,
I have
Yep.
5 books, Patty.
yeah, some do. I have a file cabinet.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Yep. But I keep all of that. Then if somebody takes over, see, I haven't been in that position yet. We're working on that for next year. So
Right.
I get to pass the baton finally.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, they said for at least 3 years, they want me back. Okay. All righty. Moving on. Once again, attend the zone meetings with the club president. Once again, that's important. Just so you can find out what's going on. So your zone chair will bring back to you what happened at the district cabinet meetings and any other things that we need to know about projects that are going on, any changes that are being made. And work with the club treasurer to issue semi-annual dues and statements. Once again, our treasurer takes care of all of that, but I've heard from some other clubs, the secretary sends out those statements. Yep. So it may work different for your club. You're just going to need to go by what your club's been doing. I know we all do it different.
Just a quick note there too, Patty. Yep. If you're not aware, those LCI dues do go up $2 on July 1st.
Okay.
For the year. So it'll be an extra $1 every 6 months. So it goes to $24 per regular member.
Okay.
12 for the family members every 6 months.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Dennis. Submit new member information to LCI. That's what you submit through the portal. I do mine as soon as our members are in, give me their application, they've paid their dues, we've approved them by the board vote. I come home that night and I put in all their information on the portal. There'll be more on that later when we use. I've been through the portal a little bit, checking it, and it's still fairly simple, like to add members and stuff. Some people are having some sticklers with some things, but it's fairly simple and straightforward. this is where I was talking, to work with the club webmaster to ensure your club's website is maintained and current. Needs to be kept updated. Our old one read like a novel. It had no pictures, it had no calendar, it had no events posted. It just had words after words after words. We started using Club Runner, and we have a site now that, in fact, people were Googling Lions to join a club. Our new site had launched 2 weeks previous. We got 2 new members out of it because they saw everything that we were doing, and it was all on there. It was all updated. We had our new Gmail account on there. We had our calendar updated. Everything was updated. I've heard from other people that they've looked for Lions clubs to join, and they went to the facility or the center or the restaurant where the meetings are held. And finally, after going there 2 or 3 times, had realized, oh, well, the Lions stopped meeting here. They moved their meeting place. That's why you need to keep it current. You might miss out on some members attending or someone wanting information. So you need to keep it updated. I've also heard from some other people, like, we can't get a hold of anybody. They never updated their members or the president and secretary on their website. So there was no one to contact. There was no updated phone number. So that needs to be stayed current. You need to order club supplies and awards. I always order them online through the portal site. There's a shop button, so you just click shop and order them through online. I was also impressed. I've been on there a couple of weeks ago. The shipping charges, no one ever used to order anything privately. Shipping charges were a flat rate of like $24 or $25. They have like 7 or 8 different shipping options now, so they have come down, and you can pick which one you want. I think everything I ordered was like $15 for shipping.
Well, that's a good thing, Patty.
That's a good thing.
Because we tried getting 3 of the peace poster packets, and as light as they are, because it's just paperwork,
Yep,
they charge us $25.
yep,
And
'Cause I'd
even
order-
even if you wanted one,
Yep.
if you needed one extra, that was ridiculous. To
because
pay
we
that.
always put stickers on our brooms, and they're only $6 for the sticker, and it was $25 for shipping. So I'm like, anybody in the club, and that's what we would do. Everybody in the club who wanted to order stuff, we ordered it all together just to save on the
Yeah.
shipping. But it has gotten better. I paid $15 for a huge order.
Now the awards, I want to, maybe Dennis and you can add to this. In the past, I know we always got them from LCI for certain degrees of years of service and things like that. Is that still continuing?
I just ordered a president award and some other awards, and I went through all.
Just miscellaneous
Yep,
things. Okay.
yep.
Okay.
I did that, I think, 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yep. Next, club officers for the next Lions year to be submitted on the Lions portal. There's probably going to be a small issue with this because a lot of people may not even be able to get into the Lions portal till May 15th. I don't know how that rollout is still going. I know I got mine with probably the first few days that it started to roll out. I submitted mine as soon as our officers are elected. We elect them at the first meeting in April. I come home that night and I put all my officers in that day, so I know it's done. So I don't have to worry about a deadline, but they do need to be in by May 15th. Dennis, do you know if they're gonna like change that because people can't get into the portal?
May 15th is just, I think, more or less our recommendation. They wanted it, you typically have up until the 15th or 20th of June to get them in.
Oh, okay,
You know, it'll accept them certainly, but the sooner the better. And
Right.
especially for, as we're putting the directory together, that kind of thing, it's very helpful to have all the information in.
okay,
I put mine in the other day and it worked out well.
right, okay.
So
All righty. Any other questions? Moving on. Provide advance notice of your meetings to your members via email. I sent out a notice several days before our meeting with the date, the time, the place. I include our agenda in there. I don't include the treasurer's report. Phil sends that out separate, so I can send that either a couple days before the meeting, the week before the meeting. Phil does that at the end of the month, so our meeting may not coordinate with that. But I always send the agenda. I send out anything else. Minutes of the previous meeting. I have the habit, I come home, those minutes are typed up in a day or two. Mine are sent out as soon as they're typed up and approved by our board members. I send those out. So, but you can do whatever you need to. If you want to attach everything to that email so that they have it for the meeting, that's quite all right. Next, this is where we discuss to help the club president create a meeting agenda. Like I said, I've had some presidents who did not do an agenda at all. They didn't know how to use their computer. I did the whole entire agenda for them, but they would call me. I would say, hey, do you have anything you need to add, anything you need to discuss? So we worked on it together, even though I put it all together. There were others that just were working full time, just did not have the time to do it. What ideally should happen is it should be a joint. The secretary and the president should work together to put the agenda together. That's how it should be ideally put. I would also encourage all the presidents to collaborate with their secretary. I also feel like sometimes I think the secretary has more of her finger on the pulse of what's going on in the club. She's probably got the list of the events from year to year because a lot of them don't change, so she can just put the agenda together. I always type mine up, have them all ready. I do print copies of the agenda for everyone when they come to the meeting. I have them there for our guests, there for all the members. I don't know if every club does. It's a good idea. I know our members, they write on the agenda, they write down dates, they take notes. So I think it's a good idea to have a copy there. I know all of my members do not print the agenda up and bring it, so I have that there for them. And it's also nice for when other guests come to the meeting too, they can follow. And then forward all correspondence to the appropriate chairperson. I know most of the other clubs have a chairperson for like probably every group, every little project that goes on. Our club is really just in the last year or two doing that for all of our projects also. So I may get emails in and it's meant for that chairperson. It's not a big deal for me to just take and click forward and just send it to them. That way they have it so I can keep in touch with them. Oh, I can't read the top of my screen there. Oh, there we go. Take attendance, including the complete name, title of guest, and visitors. I don't know if you can still do it on the portal. I had not tried it, but there are attendance sheets that I used to print out from the old portal. So I would just have that list with me and just check off who was there. And I wrote there the guest and visitors. That was important for me to keep a list of the guests and visitors, because I would take and send them a thank you note for coming to the meeting and for being there. Other is record the minutes. We've talked about that before. Collect dues, provide receipts. Once again, I guess clubs are different. Our treasurer completely takes care of the dues and the receipts for our club. Gather information from committee chairs. I think I've heard from some other clubs, they have committee chair meetings, so they're attending a separate board meeting from their club meeting. Our board meeting is after our first regular meeting in the month. And I know some others have committee chair meetings, so that secretary is there at all of those committee chair meetings, also taking minutes. We don't have that. Our committees report to us at our meeting, so I just take their notes. Keep an attendance log again. It's also important. I can always count down real quick and let our president know if we have a quorum. So if we have to have a vote, you need a quorum to vote. So that way the president knows. New member kits available. I think most of you know you can order new member kits. I have a link to that I order. But for me, for our member kits, I have compiled separate kits, separate from the kits that you order when you give to a new member when they're inducted. I have put in there our brochure for our club, my email address, a telephone number, the club email, the club telephone number. I have also printed up I guess it's a page-long sheet of all the causes that we support and what projects we do to support our global causes and childhood cancer and diabetes and all of that. I've also printed up a whole page of month by month by month by month, every single one of our service projects that we do. That might change month to month or year to year, so I just update it and I change it. So I put that in our kit also. We also have a huge list of all the organizations that we donate to throughout the year. I put that in our kits also. I'd be amazed how many people I've handed these kits to and went, I didn't know you Lions did all of this. I didn't know you Lions donated this much money back to the community. I was not aware of what the Lions did. So I think it's made a huge difference just for them to have all this information at their fingertips. Also inside of there, I put an application, maybe 2 or 3. That way that you pass it on to their friends. And I have that ready. I carry this packet of papers with me and I put them all together. I carry them to every meeting, every event, every fundraiser, every function that we have, I have them. And we may next Tuesday be inducting our 10th member this year. So we've gotten 8 new members this year. So it's made a huge difference. It's really helped.
It must be
That's
you, Betty.
We're doing good.
Good.
We're happy. And they've come in with a bunch of new ideas and new service projects and they're hitting the ground running. So it's been good.
Good.
Yep. Any other questions? Once again, when you start your minutes, I think this is just common knowledge, record the date, time, the meeting place. And it's important to put the first and last name of the person presiding, the time the meeting was called to order, and the time it was adjourned. When motions are made, remember to put the first and last names. I remember reading through some minutes and went, Bob. Well, there's 3 Bobs in our club. There's 2 Patties in the club. You need to know who said it. So you need to put the first and last name so that you know. Actions on motions. I'll get Dennis to add in a little bit on this too, because I do something different here. Only the motions are recorded. Debates and discussions are not. I have heard from other clubs too. They just put discussion ensued. They just put the motion, discussion ensued, don't write anything else. I don't know if it's because of being a nurse, but I write everything down. I may not put it all in the minutes, but I do at least keep it recorded in my minutes. And I do put some of it, especially if a motion was made, then it was amended, and then it was made again. So I make sure I have those notes. I've on more than one occasion had a member call me and say, hey, who made this vote? Why did this pass? Why? I'm like, well, hold on. And in my notes, sure enough, because the attendants, they were not there. They were on vacation. Or I can tell them this was said, that was said, and then this happened and that happened. I know it's not supposed to be like that, but I've also had members say, I'm glad you wrote all that down because I missed the meeting. So now I know how you got from point A to point B. Dennis, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
I would, I can't say like officially if there's a Robert's Rules of Order kind of
Right.
thing on that. I could research it a little bit, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know for the multiple district meetings, the state meetings, they basically record the meeting and they put everything down. It's like a word for word
right.
accounting of what was discussed at the meeting and motions and everything. So I guess I don't think it's improper necessarily, but at a minimum, you should make sure that you're recording official actions that are taken by the board of
Right.
directors and or when you have your annual meeting for your election of officers and pass the budget, that kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. And the other thing, I know Dennis has mentioned it in past, and I've heard some other clubs do this. I don't do this because my minutes are organized differently, I guess. Some of them keep a log of all the motions, so that way you're not reading through pages and pages of minutes. They're just all right there. It's the month, the date, and you can real quick go back to it to access it. That's a good idea too. I guess I haven't found the time to go through and do all of that. One thing that's important to remember that this is a permanent legal record. I know for our Lions Club, I not only have the minutes on my computer, I also print them twice to keep paper copy for me. And we also, in our Lions closet, literally our Lions closet, there are binders with our minutes in them, literally from 1933 all the way up to last year. We keep all of them in a file. It's kind of interesting too to go back and read them, but they're there. We have them all saved. If keeping electronic files, be sure to back them up. If your computer goes down, that's why I print mine, so at least I know that I have them. My computer goes down. Any other questions? Next, these are things you should carry with you to the meeting. This is probably why people ask me why my binder is so thick. I do carry the club charter in case we need it. I have the club constitution and bylaws. I don't carry the club history. I do have all the minutes for this year, not for previous years, of the club minutes, and I do have all the board of director minutes, because there have been times I've had to go back and we've had to look something up, and it was easier to look in my minutes that were printed. Annual reports and the IRS forms, Bill carries all of those for our club. I do carry a roster of our members also with their address, their phone number, their year joined, and their email address and other pertinent information. As secretary, your attendance is required at all club functions. I go to probably every club function that our club has. I just think it's important for the secretary to be there, especially some years you have a president that may not be able to attend. They may be ill. At least do have an officer there in case someone needs something, if something comes up at a club function or there's a question or an issue rises. This way you can see what's going on. Also, you can be in touch with the club. I know Wayne's been doing a little more lately than me, but we go to other club projects and events. I love going to other clubs just to see what they're doing and see what their projects are. People think we're crazy, and we have this big, huge carnival that we do every July, and our Lions run the whole entire thing, and it's a gigantic event. A week and a half later, probably about another 15 of us are going over to Stewartstown Carnival to help those Lions with their carnival, because now we're not in charge. We're just getting to go over there and just help out, meet people, and we have a lot of fun. So it's great. We've been to chicken barbecues. We've been to a lot of other events. Wayne went to electronic recycling with some of the other clubs, and you get to see what the other clubs are doing and bring that back to your club. District events. It's important to attend the district cabinet meetings and conventions and other things that they have going on, and training sessions and symposiums and seminars. You get a lot of information from there. Same with the multiple district events. RLLI, I've attended that a couple of years ago because Carrie had suggested I go. And everyone tells you it's the best weekend of their life, and it really was. I think I came home and I talked so much. Wayne was like, "You need to be quiet." I was just so excited. I was so pumped up, and it was great. Got to meet a whole bunch of Lions, people from, different areas and stuff. And what amazed me most was meeting some of the 20-somethings and the 30-somethings and listening to them going, wow, what have I done with my life? Listen to all these projects they've done and these things that they have done for the homeless and for the youth and everything. It was just fantastic to listen to, and a lot of leaders and a lot of instruction, and a lot of it you can use every day. So it was just great for team building and stuff. USA Canada leadership forums, I've heard, are fantastic. Wayne and I will be going this year for the first time. There's a lot of seminars, a lot of activities that go on. Everybody loves them. It's a big, huge get together, but that's important if you can attend that too. International conventions, I know a lot of our members have traveled internationally. I will never be able to travel that, but they're important to attend too. There's a lot of LCI offers webinars. They're on the internet, so you can do them by Zoom. And then of course, always the Lions University, where you can take courses and learn more. Managed correspondence is another big one. Internal administration correspondence. Once again, as I said, you should read and reply to all correspondence promptly, even if it's only to acknowledge receiving it by email or letter, and just be sure to pass it on to the relevant person or to the organization that needs to take care of it. But that, once again, is important. I don't think anyone likes to figure they sent an email and now it's been a week or two and no one has responded to them. At least respond, at least to say, hey, I will get back to you. Here, once again, all reports file carefully. You need to have easy access to them. I have a picture of the folder up there because that's what I put all mine in. All of them are labeled, so I know what is in them. I've categorized all of them. They're all in order. They're in a file box. I can easily get to them. I know it's in there. Anybody who calls me, I can go, hey, hold on, I'm running upstairs, let me grab it for you. And I have all of it in one spot so I can get to it. Some secretaries maintain a register of correspondence, calling it in, calling it out. Whatever system works for you, that's what you need to do to keep your records straight. And then once again, try to achieve and answer letters and emails quickly. I have thank you written on here because I was raised to write thank you notes, handwritten notes. I know the generation now does not do them. My son, one of them. But I go to the dollar store, I buy a pack of 6 or 8 thank you notes. I send thank you notes to all of our guest speakers for attending that evening. They took their time out to come to our club to present anything. We've had Narcan training, we've had a VOAD training, we've had a lot of other speakers, and I sent a handwritten thank you to them. Anybody who's made a donation to our club, even if it was a club member and they've done it, I've sent a thank you to them to acknowledge it. I've sent a thank you for people who donated items to our club, people who have donated the time. Our carnival, I could tell you from experience, every single one of our booth chairs, and I think we have 6 or 8 booths that we run totally at our carnival. Every one of our chairpersons has told me they have sat down and written a handwritten thank you, be it handwritten or a quick email to thank all of our volunteers for coming to our carnival to volunteer. We've gotten 4 new members because they volunteered at our carnival and they've gotten a thank you, and we've kept in touch with them and kept up with them. And other people are like, thank you for taking the time to acknowledge it. The receiver likes to receive it just as much. It makes you feel good for sending it to someone. And once again, be on top of all your correspondence. Failure to answer correspondence punctually and not knowing where to find it are 2 of the major mistakes made by inexperienced secretaries. In some cases, these mistakes cost your organization money and members. I've heard from some clubs, I think they failed to answer an email and there was a deadline date on it, and then they were assessed fines. And it can happen. You need to make sure you get everything out and get it to who needs to get it by a deadline date. Putting it can cost you members, just from personal experience. Like I just said, I've gotten 3 emails in the past 2 months, people wanting to join our club. If I had just ignored them and not answered them, I may have lost potential members. So I responded that. I've also, people will send me text messages. We've been at events and we've talked to people about Lions clubs. I was at stream cleanup last year in the rain. The phone rang, didn't know who it was. Somebody said, hey, you got a couple minutes? I want to talk about Lions. I could have very easily have said no, because it's raining. I'm standing in the stream. I'm wet. But I talked to him. Him and his wife both joined the club the following month. So it does make a difference. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Anything to add?
Patty,
Yep.
just a thought here that there's of course a lot of responsibilities listed there, and I think most of the people on the Zoom are somewhat experienced secretaries anyways, but I would say don't be afraid to delegate some of those duties if as you feel comfortable. Things like making meeting attendance. I know our lion tamer has done that in the past, been responsible for the attendance and then reported it back and kept the sheets or whatever and turned them over periodically when the sheet filled up to the secretary. Get well cards, and like you said, you kind of share the responsibility in some of the thank you notes. The other thing later, whenever you're, I don't know if this is the end of the presentation or not, or just this section, but I wouldn't mind hearing more about that club runner program at some point.
Okay. I still have time. Our club runner was one of our new members. He belongs to Rotary. They use Club Runner. Now it is costly. It did, but we had an anonymous donor donate the money, so it covered the cost of getting it set up and stuff. But it's a separate web page, and it's a new design, and he set it all up, and it totally took over our web page and took over. We can have a volunteer list in there. We can have everything we need in there. There's a monthly fee also associated with it. So it was upfront cost. It was a monthly fee. I can send you if anybody wants some more information on it, but it totally redesigned our web page, where it went from having a banner that scrolls across the top to be able to list all of our global causes, to list all of our activities. And on the very first page, everyone can see what we're doing, what our service activities are, where we're going, what's coming up. You click a calendar and it's got our whole calendar on it with all of our events on it, all of our meetings, all of our places. You can click events and get expanded, sort of like what I guess Teresa's doing with the district, with the calendar, where you click it and you can see all the details and everything. We've got a photo section in there now. So we have probably 8 or 9 or 10 different photos for like our scholarship awards we give out, our distribution and donation night, our carnival. We have a special tribute in there for Lion Tom Summers, who passed away in September. We have a whole page dedicated to him. It just really woke up our page and it brightened it up. And people said now they can just see us in action. They can see what we're doing instead of reading words. But we can run everything in there. We can send emails from in there for our volunteer list. We just did that for our carnival. You had to pay a little extra for the volunteer setup, but we've done that too. But it's just been a really great program. And a lot of our members looked at it and went, wow, that's really impressive.
What does
So
it
I can,
run a month?
it's under Club Runner, but it's a Rotary uses it, and several Lions clubs are just starting to use it. It can also connect you to your district if the district uses it, and it puts it all together. So then everything from the club will go to the district, everything from the district to the club. So it's really, it's made it a lot nicer. It's actually made the work for the secretary and for some of the other people a whole lot easier, because it's just all in there now. There's less correspondence coming back and forth. It's all done through Club Runner. It literally runs our club. So it's a big help. Yep.
What is the cost per month?
There's a monthly fee of $15 per month to run it, but I think it cost us several $100s to get the software to set it up and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I can get that information and have it sent to everyone if you need to know. I mean, we were just fortunate. We had a donor who donated the money, so he's going to cover the cost for it for us. But it was a lot of software to set up. It was a lot of time setting up the web page, but it gives you these tutorials and everything, and it shows you how to do it all. But it's made a huge difference for our club. It really has. All the members areas in there, all the members information, the roster is in there, the attendance sheets, our newsletters are in there. Residents from the outside community can subscribe to our newsletter, and then every month I just pull up their email and I send them a copy of our newsletter that month. So it's keeping the community engaged with us too. And we got a lot more correspondence now from the outside community through that email account we set up through there, and everything comes through Club Runner now. So it's worked well.
Was your previous website the LCI e-clubhouse?
No, it was done by one of our Lion members who had a web guy who did it for us. So it was very, very basic. It literally, when you scroll down the page, I never went in it because it just scrolled and scrolled and scrolled. And it was just reading. It was like reading a novel. It was just all words. This one has engaged everybody with pictures and simple little stories. So it's made it really interesting. It's bright colors and we can update it. Yeah. And my other thing I wanted to mention, I put together a packet because I know this is a lot, because with me moving out of the secretary position, I put together a huge packet. It's probably 6 or 7 or 8 pages long, but I gave it to the 2 secretaries that are taking over. I've listed all the responsibilities. I put all the links on there, and I've got the documents in our Club Runner where they can just go to that document, pull it up and click the links if they need to order membership kits. They need to order awards, whatever they need to do. They got a calendar. They've got all our events. They have all of our service activities. The Club Excellence Award link is in there. All of that stuff is in there. So I passed it on to them. And one of the girls I've been training for a couple of months, and she actually is a member only for a year. She says that's been like invaluable because it's just all in there. She can just look at it. She can grab it. She knows who to call, who to do for this, where to send this email, where to send this. So it's really helped. It was time consuming. It took me a couple of weeks to put it together, but that's helped our guys too. But I guess a lot of you with having your books, that'll help. because all that information is probably in there. But we never had that as a club. The secretaries before me didn't have anything, so I compiled all that. So at least now we have something. Any other questions, comments? I think, Dennis, that's it. I wasn't going to go into the portal stuff because, you know, they're having portal training on Saturday and then we're all still learning how to do that. So,
Yeah, training such as it is, it's going to be more
Yeah.
just kind of compare and see where everybody's at. Give maybe a little bit of tutorial, but I think I have a feeling most of us are probably at about the same level, but each of us may have found something that somebody else didn't find and can
right.
can do that. So, and I don't know if you saw Patty, but Marlon Kindig from Dover did get on with us.
Yep.
So good evening, Marlon. Okay. All right. So yeah, Saturday's training is 9 o'clock, and probably stay on as long as you want, unless if anybody wants to go in tonight, we can look at it a little bit if you have any pressing questions from it.
So Dennis, I have been able to find, like I told you before, I was looking for addresses and phone numbers and email addresses for all the members of the district that I use at the fair. I have been able to find that for my club members now. But I'm still finding no district information except for district officers, of course. I'm finding that. But it looks like they're slowly adding stuff because I did find some links that don't go anywhere yet. So I'm sure they're gonna be putting some behind those pretty soon.
Yep. I happened to have a conversation with somebody at LCI today, member services, because I was working on moving member or setting up the Yorktown branch in Shiloh, because they're moving from Weigelstown to Shiloh. But anyways, I was talking with her and I said, are you working, do you have to work on when you're looking for stuff, are you working on the same new portal that we are? And she's there, yeah. And I said, well, misery loves company.
Is there any ability to go back and forth from being a secretary to a zone officer? I haven't found that yet.
I think it defaults to your greatest level of
Yeah.
access. That's what it's supposed to do. But I've had trouble doing some things that I previously was able to do. So how good that is, I don't know. But you should be able to access it should give you all the access as zone chair that you had before.
I haven't seen that yet.
It probably will because I have access to everything as the club administrator, but nothing as a PDG so far.
I haven't even been able to log on.
Is that right?
It won't accept my old password. I tried to set up a new password, and to be quite honest with you, with my hours, I'm not able to call the help people during their hours. So it's
What
happened when you tried to reset your password?
it just wouldn't accept it.
What I found out, Dennis, is that it brings your name up as user and your password's right below it. Now, did it actually bring your physical name right up rather than, because what you have to do is you have to put your email address in where the user is.
I did that. I put my email address in.
And then
when
the
I
new
tried to
password.
put my old, it wouldn't accept it. So then I tried to make a new one, and it wouldn't. I couldn't go forward. It wouldn't accept anything. I tried to change it, to make a different
It
password.
took me 2 or 3 times to do that, and then it finally did accept mine.
Did you have to make a new password, or did you use your old one?
I had to make up a new one.
Okay.
I put a symbol or whatever behind it, but just to
Make it
make
just
it
the
simple.
same, but a little bit different.
Yeah, just a hair different.
Okay.
So try it. It may work. Again, if it doesn't, we'll have to discuss that on Saturday.
Yes, because
I
I'm
tried to
looking-
change my password, but then it ended up accepting my original. So
Oh,
I managed to go back to where I was.
just trying to think of how that was, but
Yeah, I struggled with it too, and I just tried every trick I could think of. And probably the fourth or fifth time I got it to work. And what you want to do is make sure you write each password down that you attempt, because you
Yeah.
never know which one's going to work.
I'm wondering if if the parameters for the passwords are more delicate than what they have given
Well,
you.
Yeah, again, it's got to be like what an 8-letter
Yes,
with at least one capital and a couple numbers or whatever. But
yeah, and
Yeah.
character, they want a character.
Characters, yeah.
And they limit the characters, if you notice that.
yeah,
They don't accept all the characters.
the only thing I can see is that just try it again, and if not, before Saturday, we'll play with it Saturday.
I've been very discouraged with the whole, that whole business over the few years.
Uh,
It changed so many times. When I started as secretary, we were still mailing in the multicolored sheets of paper every month. And we started them, then they switched over to computers. And every year that changed, probably for the next 5 years. And it
Yes,
got different every time, and it gets more complicated every time. So once you get one to work and you get caught up, don't get too used to it. Like I did with my LCI. I got so used to my LCI, I could find anything on it. Now we're starting over.
yeah,
oh, I realize that, but that's what happened to me. I was learning and thought I was doing a pretty good job of, I wasn't doing the future activities, but I was doing the past ones pretty well. I was able to put pictures in. I felt very good. And all of a sudden they changed. I don't know what they changed, but I suddenly couldn't get pictures in. It was just, and I'm going to be honest, because most of my work that I do is done from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at night, or 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. And I just stopped because I was frustrated.
Yeah.
It could easily happen.
sure.
Because you can't call the help people, and it's just,
I see somebody and up in the right-hand corner of my screen, which is Patty. You can call at 3:00 in the morning.
well, I know the one, and I
Don't call me.
I'm trying to think of the guy that did come over to my house, and he helped me. He told me to use a different browser. We downloaded the browser, and we did one entry and it worked, and he left my house, and I shut down my computer for a little bit, went back, wouldn't do it.
Gone.
Yeah, whatever, it worked at one time, and I had written down the directions, and I even had my computer gentleman that helps me with my computer, I thought maybe I had a virus. So I don't know. I'm hoping that this new system is easier.
Well, there'll definitely be a learning curve
Yeah.
until we all get
Yeah,
used to it. So there'll be things that we like and things that we don't like, I'm sure.
well, I know the past president that we had in our club, he just wouldn't even touch it. He said it's monkey milk. So I'm hoping, I'm looking forward to this new program, because it has to be it has to be up improvement.
Yeah. Well,
That's
see
the
what
way
you
I
can
look
do
at it.
about logging in again. Hopefully, maybe you
I'll
can
try again because
at
I
least
just,
get that. And I too, I had to do it a couple times, and I think
did
like I
I.
either missed a step or I clicked on a wrong thing, and it was just like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. But yeah,
And then remember up in the right-hand corner, you can have it saved, your passwords.
yeah.
Okay, you want to get that saved because then you won't have a problem getting back in again when it comes to that.
I know, but I don't save my passwords. I mean, I save them in my book,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I don't have the computer remember them when I log in. I just feel that that's not as safe.
It may not be, but in this case, it may be, at least for a while till things there could be still have some bugs or some things to be ironed out and
Well, you know what my feeling is on that, sir? Lions Club, I'm sure, paid big bucks for this,
oh,
correct?
I'm sure.
No
They
doubt.
should, whoever we're paying should have tested this multiple times and have the bugs worked out so that we're not, like this gentleman said, constant, it was constantly changing every,
Oh, yeah.
I just feel,
It-
whoever we're paying should have already run test scenarios to have most of these bugs worked out.
I was just talking to I had some lunch with some retirees from my company, and we had tested it. Everybody went through a 6-week training, multiple times of training, sitting down, how to do it, how to go, and what kind of scenarios you get into. And even when they brought it on board,
It was still,
we had almost a year of problems. It's just almost like the nature of the beast. You find little things that need tweaked or twerked or whatever. And you
Not
just have to
twerked.
work, just have to work it, just have to work it out. Just have to work it out. That's all. And stay with it. And once it's there, you're going to find it so easy.
I hope,
Easy to work with.
I hope.
Yeah.
Because
Knock
I'm-
on wood.
yeah, I want this to be better than what we had before. I want it to be more user friendly and more, not just, because I'll be honest with you, I talk to my members of my club. I'm the only one that gets on it.
Oh,
The club members aren't getting on my line. I mean, it's sad, but we need to make it user friendly because not everybody's computer savvy.
right.
So I hope.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe we'll see some of you on Saturday. Terry, just stay on a minute. Maybe
Sure.
I don't know if I can help you figure out what's going on with your screen or not, so you're not upset
Okay,
on
we
it
can
next
play with
time.
that.
He may need some Tylenol for his headache. He's
Okay.
standing on his head
Yeah.
this whole time.
Everybody have a good night.
I was
good
gonna
night.
make a mouth. on
Well, that
my
would have been
forehead.
interesting. All right.
Okay,
Good
thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Patty.
Bye-bye.
Terry.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Take
Patty.
care.
Right, thank you, Patty.
So Terry, I don't know. You're probably going to have to go into your computer settings.
Well, that's what I was also thinking, maybe,
Yeah. Can you minimize your well, I'll tell you what. Go to let's do you use a PC?
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm a Mac person, so it's going to be a little bit different. But
let me see.
down at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you
Let
see
me get
if you
that.
pull your cursor down there and you get all those little icons, near the middle it says screen share or share screen.
Let me put it down. Meaning reduced it. Let me get it. Come on now. Give me what I need.
You lose your Zoom screen.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so just click on that arrow for share screen.
Yep.
Okay, and now down at the there should be a little box that says share.
Share sound. I don't have a share. Oh, sorry, right hand corner.
There we go. Okay, so now I can see your screen.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Down there at the bottom, you beside the along the very bottom of the screen where you have the Z, beside that, I think is your settings icon, the little cog.
Well, my screen just went to Zoom, so just saying Zoom and not. Oh, let me see if I can get it. No.
Oh, hang on a second. I'm going to end this recording.
Yeah.